So, that was an entertaining game yesterday. We did everything that you're supposed to do wrong, and we still won the game. And Will Levis was a big reason why. Let's talk about how I might have jumped the gun just a little bit. But, after the intro. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Bonafide, and this is Section 240, a channel all about the Tennessee Titans, but from a fan's perspective. So, yesterday's game was, hey, we won. Hey, that's something we haven't done a lot this season. I can count on one hand how many times we've won this season. So, yeah, it was pretty unexpected. I mean, all of the pundits, all of the news media outlets, even Vegas had us as a touchdown underdog to the mighty Texans, the division leading Texans, and CJ Stroud. And not only did we go beat the Texans, but we beat them in Houston. In a game where if you would have told me that our quarterback was going to get sacked 8 times, he was going to throw a pick 6, and we were going to have 2 turnovers, I would have told you we would have lost that game. But yes, all of that happened, and Will Levis did his thing. Now, if you've been a fan of this channel for quite some time, you know that me and Will have had some rough times. I was firmly out on him as being the starting quarterback, the whatever you want to call it, for the Tennessee Titans. I was firmly entrenched that he is not the future. Now, I am not saying that Will Levis is the future, but I am saying that over these past 3 weeks, where we have gone 1-2, and we have faced 3 top 10 defenses in the NFL and 3 really good football teams, he ain't been the reason why we lost. And that is saying something. Now, I always use this analogy is that, hey man, if I'm a homeless guy, that, I'd rather sleep in a cardboard box than sleep on the concrete, because a cardboard box is an upgrade. It may not feel like it, but it seems like it. All right? And I think that's where we're at with Will right now. I'm not gonna lie, he yesterday was like I said, I said it in the stream, I said, like, some of those drives, Will Levis had a really great opportunity to basically win back a lot of people that he had lost, because pretty much we were in manure for Shadur mode, or tank for Cam, or we didn't have a funny saying for Cam Ward, I'm sorry. But anyway, we were, that's where we were. No one, you couldn't even, be honest with yourself. No one expected to win that game yesterday. Absolutely no one. And we tried our best to give it away multiple times. But hey, man, sometimes favor is on your side. And like I said, Will Levis, although he frustrated me a lot during this game, by there was some running lanes, there were some sacks where I was screaming at the TV to just throw the ball away, get it away, get it out of your hands, live to fight another play, don't take the sack. There was one drive where Will Levis took a sack, and it literally put us out of field goal range. We could have went up 2 scores had he just taken, did a throwaway and allowed Nick Folk, who was absolutely marvelous, and saved special teams, and we'll talk about that in a second. To a large part, Nick Folk saved special teams by kicking 3 beautiful field goals. I like 2 of them were from 50 plus. So, Nick Folk, a job, folk hero right there. But yeah, we could have went up 2 scores and kind of changed the momentum of the game, but taking unnecessary sacks allowed him to, allowed us to be out of field goal range, and we missed that opportunity. Luckily, it didn't come back to bite us because the defense was playing lights out. Kenneth Murray and T'Vondre Sweat got his first sack, and then Jeffrey Simmons was doing his thing. The Tennessee Titans, I know our team is bad considering the record, but that defense is something to talk about. I need another 1 or 2 years of Denard Wilson here, and then he's probably going to get a head coaching gig somewhere. But he has that defense playing lights out, and I'm telling you, we're playing lights out with backups on safety. There was plenty of times on the stream where I was saying, "Who is this guy?" When I'm referring to Daryl Worley, like who the gay guy, Gaye, on the defensive line. He ended up with a sack in the game. Who else was out there? Yeah, but anyway, for a long story short, this is not at the full strength. Now, we don't have Snead, we don't have Gibbons, we don't even have Chance Campbell, who was playing lights out in preseason before he, tore his ACL. Like, a lot of things weren't going our way. Amani Hooker was a late scratch, so we are starting Mike Brown. I forgot who the other safety was. I really forgot his name. I might put it somewhere here on the screen when I figure out his name. But yeah, we're playing backups, and the defense is still dominating. We held Joe Mixon, who the previous week, just last week, scored 3 touchdowns. We held him to like less than 50 yards. I think it was like something absurd, like 22 yards, and no touchdowns. That's how dominant our interior line was playing. And again, like I said, this was a game that we probably should have lost, but we won because in spite of, now, this is bona fide talk, in spite of his mistakes and taking all those sacks, Will didn't get careless with the ball. Now, the pick six, bad throw, You're gonna have to live with those kind of plays. You have to live with those kind of plays. And I think the first 6 games kind of really caused it to be like a laser-like focus on any time he made a mistake. But a lot of people said on Twitter, and a lot of people said throughout the game, that it seems like after the injury, when he was finally reinserted into the starting lineup, that this is a different Will Levis. Maybe something clicked for him. Sometimes you need to see yourself losing something and understanding what it is for you to really say, hey, boom, I understand it now. Shout out to Lethal Shooter. But yeah, that I think he's been playing lights out the past 2 games. I even said last week that we shouldn't believe the hype, but now I got to eat my words because he's playing good football. And I'm not crazy, and I don't want you to think I'm crazy, but we are not dead in the playoffs. What is crazy about it is that our schedule worked out in a way that for I think the last 6 or 7 games we got left, I think one of them is a non-conference game. I think next week when we play DC, that's the NFC, and the rest of our games are against, we got 1 more game against Houston, we got 2 more against Jacksonville, and then we got 1 more against the Colts. So that's, what is that? 1 Houston, 2 against the Jags, 1 more against the Colts. That's 4. So I forgot who else we play. We play the Commanders. Oh, and the Bengals. So that's the lineup. And I'm not tripping with you. Given the way that Will Levis has been playing these past 3 weeks, it's not crazy to believe that those are winnable games. Now, we saw the Dallas Cowboys. Now, that's a rivalry game, so that takes on a lot, a whole life of its own. But we saw the Dallas Cowboys take the beat the Washington Commanders in Washington. So, and I would say our defense is way better than their defense. So who knows? I mean, we'll talk about it next week, but if we're at 4-8 and winnable division games come up, I mean, we could possibly beat the Colts again. They beat us, but we could possibly beat them. We could definitely beat the Jags twice. I don't see them being a good team, especially if Trevor Lawrence is still hurt or if he's out for the season. I don't know if he's out for the season, but if he's out those 2 games, I can definitely see us beating the Jags twice. And I can see us beating Houston again at home, week 18. It could be, brothers and sisters of the section, that we win the division. That, am I crazy? Did I just say? Yeah. So it's possible, man. But a lot of things have to go. Like, Callahan said, there's a lot of things that we got to clean up. There's a lot of things that got to go our way. There's a lot of things. We got like a 2% chance of making the playoffs. But if we win the division, we're in the playoffs. 9-8. I know it don't sound great, but hey, 9-8 gets you into the playoffs. It does. In a season, in a league where the Carolina Panthers take the Kansas City Chiefs to they need a last-second field goal to beat them. I mean, anything is possible, man. Anything is possible. But I will say this. If Will Levis can continue to string good performance along, and don't get me wrong, there are going to be some mistakes that are going to be made. There are going to be interceptions. That's just how it is. But on Sunday, he showed us that he could throw with anticipation. He could throw the deep ball. He could get the ball into playmakers' hands. I'm speechless, but yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, there's a chance. And whether you want to believe me or not, there is a chance. And it could even be bolstered because we could get Awuzie back. We probably could get Snead back off of IR. Awuzie is coming back. His window is opened up. Snead is on there for 4 games. So if we even are threatening that, having L'Jarius Snead come back, it's crazy. Last thing I talk about is that I know we got a lot of injuries, and I talked about the secondary being like really, a mash unit. But that's kind of been like a bright spot because it allows us to see who we got. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I like Mike Brown. I like Mike Brown as a safety. Yeah, he's a thumper back there. Jarvis Brown-Lee Jr., 5th round pick. Remember when we were saying let Rand cook and all those people were talking about we gonna get fired? Nah, G, you got it. Jarvis Brown-Lee Jr. was a Rand Carthon pick, man. And he's picking these guys up off the street like Worley came in. I mean, we're not talking about, we're not talking about no disrespect to Gardner Minshew out here throwing the ball. We talking about this ragtag bunch of secondary and defensive players beat a very good Houston Texan team in Houston on the road to the point where it got Miss Amy a little emotional. So yeah, as crazy as this sounds, as crazy as this season has been, as crazy and as angry and as upset as I've been, we got a chance. So we got to see what they're going to do with it. This weekend, coming up, we got the Washington Commanders in D.C., another road game. We win that game in D.C., we might be cooking with grease. Who knows? We'll see. But hey, man, we're going to wrap this video up. I appreciate every last one of y'all that's been on the streams, everybody that's been joining in with us. We've been having a dope time. Now, my apologies. We're not going to have a stream this week. I know. Say the tomatoes. Not going to have a stream this week because I got some obligations for the man upstairs that I got to take care of. But I am going to try to drop a video before. We're going to drop a recap video afterwards. Our channel is blowing up. Like I said, we're less than 10 subscribers away. That last 10 is the hardest 10 to get. So if you're watching this video and you know 2 Titans fans, just send them the link to the channel. Send them the link to the channel so they can subscribe, so we can get over 1,000, so I can give away this Houston Oilers throwback jersey so you can get it in time for week 18 when we possibly might be playing for the division against Houston at home in Tennessee in the throwbacks. I got one. I want you to have one. And somebody, lucky subscriber, gonna get one. So make sure you're locked in. Make sure you got the notification bell set up, all of that good stuff, man. Because like I always say, as crazy as this season has been, and as wild as Will Levis got me on this emotional roller coaster, shout out to my man D from the stream. This emotional roller coaster. There's plenty of room in the section. for us all. Maybe even room in the playoffs. Tighten up.